Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Water Bearer podcast. So, in case this is your first time tuning in, welcome. And this is a zodiac based show, specifically Aquarius, because that is my sign, but we also interact with all of the signs of the zodiac and get to know everybody's little quirks and ticks and things of that nature. So, thank you all for joining and for tuning in tonight on the Water Bearer podcast. In case you've not already done so, please join the Drip family and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also make sure you hit that notification bell because sometimes I go live, sometimes the videos will be recorded. So you don't miss an episode, make sure you hit that bell. So, of course, tonight we are live. Very excited for this episode and happy to have you all here. And you can catch the Drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All looks like we have a couple comments already. Okay. Hey, we got Gemini in the house. So, Tylen, thanks for checking out the show. Really appreciate it, Tylen. And yes, he is a Gemini. So, got a little air sign and fire sign energy tonight with my special guest, Element Rose. Well, I know her as Shannon, so y'all may know her as Element Rose as well. But I first met Shannon in 2018, and I really believe in divine connections, and I feel like our friendship and connection is really a great example of that because I met her kind of from 3 degrees of people, I guess you could say. So one of my close friends from college, Jasmine, she had a friend that I worked on a project with. His name is Desmond. And then through Desmond, I met Shannon because we had been talking about a book that I was working on. And I needed a cover designer. And I really like working with different people for each book because it just really, to me, just drops a different vibe and things like that. So anyway, long story short, we really hit it off when I met Shannon. She was like super cool. And she ended up doing the book cover. I'm not sure if you all know this, for my first novella and the only novella that I've ever written. And it's called A Swipe in the Wrong Direction. It's a book about online dating. And I wanted something different. I'll probably post it like a Flashback Friday or something on my social media here in the next day or so. But it's a dope cover. It's so cool. And it's kind of gory a little bit too, which is what I wanted. So y'all make sure y'all check that out when I post it. You can follow me on Instagram at Poetic, P-E-A-U-X-E-T-I-C, or at PEAUXETIC 7 if you're on TikTok. And got another comment from Tom. He says, happy to be here, brother. I really, really appreciate that. And I didn't put it on the screen. My bad. All right. And so, also, before we get started, I also want to really shout out all of the people who have been listening on the go. Those numbers have been increasing, and I've been noticing it. So, for those of you who maybe can't catch us live here on the video, you can listen on Audible, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts on streaming services. So, all right. Without further ado, I'm getting ready to bring out my special guest, Element Rose. And before I bring her out, just one quick thing. So I always start off the show with a famous Aquarius and a famous person of the sign that I'm speaking with. And famous Aquarius is Shakira, and a famous Sagittarius is Taylor Swift. I don't know if y'all knew that. So all y'all Swifties out there, if you are Swiftie, she is a Sagittarius. So, all right. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in Shannon right now. Hey, Shannon.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you? I'm
Hey.
good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It feels so funny when I see your stuff online and then me calling you Shannon. It almost feels like, wait, should I be saying Element Rose instead?
Whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever you're
Hey,
comfortable with. I
well, I
I
bet you it's
introduced
Shannon.
myself. Yeah, I introduced myself as Element Rose at festivals and meet and greets and stuff like that. But you know me personally, so I really don't mind the government name,
Hey. Okay, okay, cool, cool. Well, before we get started, is there anything about yourself that you want to tell the viewers and the listeners? Just, I know you're an amazing artist and painter. I know that for sure. But just any other things you want to tell people about your art, and maybe any projects or anything like that you have coming up?
Actually, I'm in the process of wrapping up. I've been working on it for like a month and off and on, but I'm wrapping up my first YouTube video. I
Nice.
funny, I call it a full length film. Ha ha ha. It's only 30
Hey,
minutes. I was working on an
that's a long
hour, but
time.
yeah, it's a 30-minute video. It's of the painting. I just completed the four-tier portrait.
Oh
I
yes,
finished January
yes.
15th.
Okay.
So it's a
Congratulations.
process video of that. With some really nice, sexy, you know, uh, final cuts at the end to show you all the detail and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm working on the voiceover, but like I said, I got sick for the past week or so, and that was the last thing I needed to do. And I was not about to record it. Like I sounded like yesterday. I sounded like a 20-year smoker.
Oh
Like
no.
my voice is like way down in here
Oh
instead of
no.
up here. So I was
Oh
not about to embarrass myself like that and then show up on a next video sounding like this. They'd be like, what happened to your voice? So
oh no.
that's the last piece I got to do there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm shooting for if not the first week of March, then the second week of March, because I also have a bunch of doctor stuff going on, but I don't want to talk about that here.
Okay. Hey, no, that's cool. I will definitely be on the lookout for it. And I'll share it as well. So yeah, thank you
Thank you.
so much for making the sacrifice. So for those of y'all who are watching and listening, so Shannon alluded to the fact that she's getting over a cold. She's under the weather. So I
Yes.
promised her, I said, we're going to make this, we're going to be, kind of speed round here tonight. But she also has another big
Oh yeah.
life event that just happened. She just got married. And I
I
was
did.
like, do we need to reschedule, or hey, I'm totally cool.
No, it wasn't like a huge ceremony. We just went to the courthouse to get the paperwork taken care of.
That's awesome.
Like I said, there's a bunch of medical stuff going on in my life right now. My dad has bone marrow cancer and stuff, so we had to
I'm
move back
sorry.
home to my hometown. It's okay, it's okay. He's fighting through it. He went from 70% cancer cells to 20% in less than a year.
What? That
Yeah,
is awesome.
yeah, and they caught
Wow.
it pretty
Congratulations.
early. So he's working through it pretty well. And he's one of those people that have always taken like supplements and stuff like that. So he's like
Mhm.
ODing on, vitamin
Right.
C and, turmeric and stuff like that.
Right.
So he's doing really good. And the doctors like think he's a phenomenon. But what's crazy about that is he's not the first person in my family to get cancer and just like beat it. Like my
Wow.
uncle got colon cancer at 43 and lived to be like 60, beat it, lived to be 60. My grandmother got colon cancer at 60. They had to remove some stuff, but she lived to be almost 90. So
Wow.
we get it and we beat it and we keep going and we annoy everybody in our life for the next 30 years.
Hey,
So
that's the way to be. And
it's my turn.
it's funny. Hey, that's right. You got it. You got it. What I don't know, of course, your whole family, but from the little that I do know about you, one of the things I've always loved is you've always had a very positive spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but um, when we were discussing the book and we were talking about I think like the sales and things of that nature, and I threw out a number and I said, well, it's probably going to sell this or that, and you like immediately were like, no, 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 don't.
Yeah.
And I never forgot that, because it's one thing when maybe you have a friend that you've known for years say something like that. But at that point, when you told me that, we hadn't known each other that long.
Yeah. That was
And
like
so
our
I
first
just,
conversation.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the first conversation. And I was like, wow, that's really dope that she would even say something like that. And she barely knows me. So I never forgot that. So I said, I got to make sure I mention that tonight.
One thing that I see a lot, especially when it comes to creatives, is we are downplayed by society so much that we forget how much it takes for us to believe in ourselves before somebody else does. So we end up living a lot of our life, kind of trotted and told that the things that we are pursuing are not going to be come to fruition in the way that we think that they are. And that type of mentality kind of ingrained in you over years, it becomes a part of your personality and you don't even realize it. And I think that's the biggest issue, especially with creatives and in the art world as a whole, is we're just kind of dismissed as soon as we mention that we're some type of creative. And that's kind of been my mission, not only with myself, but especially with like looking at other creatives who I see are extremely talented. Like you've written so many books, and I know you're like, oh, well, I think what you said, you were like, the residuals,
Oh, yeah.
aren't going to be like crazy or something like that. And I was like, shut up. Like, you have no idea. You're going to have like one book pop off, and then people are going to be like, oh, let me go find all the other books that he wrote so I can get on that whole thing, So I don't know. Don't ever, and I know, especially writing, it's a completely different game than painting. But I mean, there are people that pop up bestsellers overnight over, what is the last? Everybody poops,
Oh, yeah,
stuff
exactly.
like that, So it's only a matter of time before one of yours pops off like that, because you are a very good writer. You are.
Oh,
and you have a bunch of ideas too. And I think that's what's really crazy, is you don't stick to one genre.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
And well, hey, it takes one to know one, because you are an amazing artist. I mean, I remember when we were talking about the book and even seeing your work. And actually, I think at that time you were working on a book. Are you still, or
I have not finished that at all.
Okay, because I remembered it.
Yeah. No, she is still very much going to happen. She is still very much going to happen. I think about her at least she comes into my mind at least once every 3 months. So I know she's still there. She's going to happen. But I just got to fight through some of the other stuff going on right now. It's not the right time. You know how that feels.
Yeah.
I've got at least 5 other paintings that have the same feelings,
Yes, right.
that I haven't touched. I've got one I haven't touched in 2 years, and it's just like, she's going to happen. I know it.
That's right.
Okay. So for instance, I just finished this painting with this little baby, right? So I have a Baroque painting that I'm working on that has lips and it has these little cherubs all over it. And I quit working on it 2 years ago because I was like, these babies aren't babying. I don't like how they look,
Right.
And then I finished this one, and I'll pull it out if you want me to. It's in a box over here.
Sure. Yeah, I would love
but
to
I
see
finished this one, and I was like, that's a baby. That baby out here being a baby,
Hey.
So I was like, it's about time I went and worked on some other babies then,
Right.
So sometimes, especially with art, it's I feel like social media pushes us to be like, you have to get so much of this stuff done now, when like, and I don't want to say like real artists, but like real art, like real art,
Yes.
it can't flow that fast, in my personal opinion. Like the Leonardo DiCaprio, my God, Leonardo da Vinci, his stuff took years and years to do. Like, not everyone can be a Basquiat and create 50 paintings in a month. He burned himself out. That's what led to his demise, is he got overwhelmed with the social pressures. And I think that's part of the main issue in painting now, is that we have given up our ability to connect as deeply as we truly need to in order to create something meaningful. So we're just kind of like pushing out stuff to stay relevant instead. And I don't sign up for that.
Hey,
I don't sign up.
either. I'm with you on that. It's funny you say that, because it's kind of just so happened that, like, with my books and stuff, I may have, if I put out a book, then maybe I just happen to have another idea and I go ahead and put something out. But I purposely, this past year, in March, I said, I'm going to go a full year. So I'm almost at it. Technically tomorrow, I would have completed it, where I'm not going to write anything. Now, I've written like a couple scratch poems here and there.
Yeah.
But it's the first time in about probably 12 years that I've done that. And to your point, I feel like when I do start again, I'm gonna be on fire because I've had that break and time to
Yeah.
live life experiences and not worry about it and then just pick it
Yeah.
up again.
You gotta allow your, and I don't know how much it is for writers, but I know for artists, there's, especially for mine because I'm a surrealist, it's more of like finding finding what's inside you that you didn't know was there. So
Mm,
say I
mhm.
start a painting like this one. So this one I was just
I
like,
love that.
oh, when I first started, I was like, I really like the idea of like combining nature with strong female representation, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of like where I started with this. And I was in a pretty emotional, abusive relationship at the time. And the whole meaning behind this is oh my God, fallen petals. I'm sorry, I got sick brain. It stopped for a second.
No, you're good.
This is fallen petals. And the whole idea behind her is the very things that you desire can destroy you, but there's
Mm,
always room for regrowth because she has
wow.
all these little buds on her tree antlers. And I didn't realize how much that relationship was emotionally affecting me at the time. And I was still with him for almost a year after that. And I told him, like, this painting is about you. And I don't know if he took offense to it or not. I really didn't care at the time. I still don't care
Right.
now.
Right.
But,
Right.
but it's very much like there are things that I'm going through and I don't even realize what I was going through till I'm done with the painting. And
Mm,
is it
mhm.
like that with writing too? You're like,
It
oh man,
is.
this is so good. And then you go back and you read it and you're like, oh, I just told on myself and I didn't know
Right.
I did that.
Even though I did it. Right. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. That's true. And so one question I have, and we'll get to the zodiac piece too, but I'm loving this art conversation. So I don't think I've ever asked you this, and if we talked about it, I apologize. But I love the name Element Rose. So where did that come from?
So I developed that in college. I'm not even sure. Like, I think I originally started the word element because I was like playing with the elements and stuff like that. And then
Oh,
after a
okay.
while, because it's like graphic design stuff. So I was like, I had never touched a Mac computer till I moved out to Dallas. I had never seen one. I had never seen Photoshop. Like I'd never touched any of that stuff. So it was just kind of like a kind of reemergence when I went into college. And um, I got this stupid idea because, and it's stupid. I say it's stupid because it's kind of cheesy, but people eat that shit up with a spoon. So
Yes.
it was like, oh yeah, I'm element rose. I'm the element you're missing, in your business.
Oh,
I'm the
that's
reason
the
why you're not
way.
successful. I'm the reason why you're
Ah,
not reaching the clientele you need to reach because I'm not on your team.
hey,
So that was my
that's cool.
original route. And at the end of interviews, they'd be like, I'd get that same question. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm the element you're missing. And some people would think it was like I'm being full of myself. But other people were like, oh,
Yeah, I
that's
love
so good. Yeah.
it. Wow, that's cool. Okay, I love that. And so when you got started with your art, was it like a light switch moment, like it just clicked for you, or is it something you feel like it's always been ingrained, or what led you to be where you are now?
I have been painting since I was 6. I'm actually, if there would been the internet, I would have probably been considered more of a prodigy when I was younger because I've been painting with oils since I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Um, I am allergic to them now, so I can't use them. I'm allergic to turpentine and linseed oil, which makes a lot of sense because my face would itch so bad every time
Really?
I would paint. Yes, like
How
all
did you
right
find out
here.
you were allergic to it?
I got allergy testing. Okay, this is going to be a little heavy. I got allergy
No,
testing
good.
around 30 because I had a miscarriage and my
Oh, I'm
allergies just
sorry.
flared and they had no
Oh,
idea what was going on. And I couldn't come back to my hometown for almost a year because as soon as I hit a certain point in the drive coming here, my whole face would just flare up and my eyes would start swelling. Like
really?
it got really bad. So that's how I found out I'm allergic to all that stuff and I'm not allowed to touch it anymore. And I mean, I know they have like oils that are like water based and stuff like that, but it's once you're trained in like I'm trained in a pretty traditional style of oil painting, and once
Mhm.
you're trained like that, everything else is just moot. You know what I mean? Like you don't.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
that's not the
Like they're not
same. Please do
right,
not try.
right.
Do not put anchovies on my pizza, please. Like I do not like that.
Right.
You know, it's like that.
Okay. Huh. Nice, nice. Okay. I just always wondered that, and I always am curious about when people have their start, like with art or anything in the arts, like what led to it, because the stories are so different depending
Well,
on who you ask.
depression runs in my family, so my parents saw at a young age that I was struggling. There's a um my story's pretty heavy, bro. My story's
Hey,
pretty
you
heavy.
whatever you feel comfortable, you're good. You're good.
I feel comfortable sharing anything. It's just I don't know how heavy people want to get sometimes. But I have a lot of sexual abuse in my life at a very young age, like kindergarten.
Mhm.
So my parents recognized that I was like just drawing everywhere. Like anytime I had a pencil in my hand and a piece of paper, like I was gone. Like you couldn't, I'd forget I had to go to the bathroom. I'd forget that there were other people in the room. I'd forget that I needed to
Gone.
get
Yeah.
water. Yeah, it was just like I was gone. So, and my parents recognized at a very young age that uh, that form of self expression was extremely important for me to be able to survive. So,
Mm.
I was put in art classes at six. Um, that art teacher was more concerned about keeping students than allowing students to express themselves.
Oh.
So when I first started painting, I was uh, painting with acrylics for a little while, and I was doing like silly things like um, Lisa Frank coloring book pages, and then I would because I wasn't allowed to draw on canvas. She wouldn't let
Oh.
us. We
Okay.
would have to project. We would have to use photographs provided. We were not allowed to pull ideas out of our own head. She didn't sign up for that because that's not what the parents were paying for. When you went to art shows here locally, uh, so I live in Texarkana, and at the time, there's a teacher at PG, and there was Miss Nancy, and you could tell whose students they were because they forced them to mimic their style because that was
Mm.
a successful style, you know. So I have paintings here that I've only painted half of because I've asked Miss Nancy for help in the middle of it, and she sat down and just proceeded to paint half of my painting for me and then asked me if I saw how she did that, and then left me on my own, you know,
Wow.
because that's what the parents were paying for was a specific look. So in middle school, I actually quit art. I became extremely, you know, since you can't say that,
Right, right. No, I know what you mean.
uh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and my dad remembered that my brother and sister had taken art class from this lady named Miss Judy, and Miss Judy, I actually just, or not Miss Judy, just Judy. Do not call her Miss. She does not like that.
Yeah.
Um, Judy, actually, I just got her to attend my wedding today. Like that's like my grandmother. Like
Wow.
she truly saved my life, and it took her a year to convince me that I didn't have to draw from a picture because I was so used to saving magazine cutouts and stuff like that,
Uh,
and like
drawing
just
that.
yeah. And she wouldn't let me. She didn't have a projector. She refused to let kids use projectors. She refused to allow you to call her Miss Judy because she's not Miss. She's not above you in any way. When you walk into that area, she's on your same level. Like
Mm.
you are in charge of what you're doing there. And it took her a full year to break my inability to create on my own. And then after that, I took off. Like in college, I mean in high school, I found out about Rene Magritte, which is a famous surrealist. And after that, I just started kind of playing with those colors and that idea. And then I quit painting for college because there's just so much work at the Art Institute. There was no way you could
Mm.
paint or have any type of connection to the painting in the way that I was used to. So I didn't pick up painting again seriously until after college.
Wow.
right after I graduated. But yeah, Judy is the reason why I really kept going. And I will forever tell you that if it wasn't for Judy, I don't know that I would be sitting here talking to you. I really don't, because there was nothing else for me to do in life except for paint. And if I didn't have that type of outlet, just point blank, I would not be here.
Right.
I wouldn't be here.
Wow. Wow. Well, hey, I've never met Judy, but I love her. She sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
no, she's the biggest blessing.
Wow. Wow. That's great. That's really awesome. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, shifting gears a little bit, I want to know what is, well, I know your birthday, but if you don't
Yeah,
mind sharing your birthday, of course, you're a Sagittarius.
yeah,
But I love Sagittarius people. I feel like their mind and their way of thinking is so cool. And I think it complements Aquarius very well to me.
yeah. We'd like to free form a little bit, and y'all are so
Mhm.
fluid. You know,
Yes. Yes.
it's like our flame is here, and you're like, no, 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 it's
Right. Right.
okay.
Right. Right.
Well,
Exactly.
yes, shout out to Judy.
To
Yes.
Judy. That's right. Yes.
Um, so my birthday is December 13th.
Okay.
Fun fact about me, my 13th birthday was on Friday the 13th, and it was as crazy as it, you know, Friday the 13th was a pretty hardcore. My 13th birthday was a pretty hardcore birthday.
Oh wow.
And what's crazy is you mentioned Taylor Swift. I was really worried that you were going to mention Britney Spears, and I was like, oh my god, please don't, not right now. I love her so
You didn't
much.
want me
I
to
love her
mention
so much, but
her. Yeah. Okay.
like
So
honestly, I love her so much. She's one of those people I stalk online, but
didn't want me to mention
she
her.
going through it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit. Well, so there's a reason why I mentioned Taylor Swift. But before I get into that, do you think, and I always ask people this, do you think that there's a difference between November Sagittarians and December
Yes.
Sagittarians? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I do. December Sagittarius, I feel like are a little bit more upfront than
Mm.
November Sagittarius. I feel, but also my moon is in Cancer, so I'm a little bit more emotionally driven
Oh,
than a lot of Sagittarius.
hey.
Um, but November Sagittarius, I feel like I don't know. I just don't feel like they're as outspoken as December Sagittarius. I like
Oh,
December Sagittarius. I get along with other December Sagittarius. There are very few and far between November Sagittarius I'm still hanging out with,
oh, really?
you know.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's to the point
it's
where
just
you
like
don't get along as well.
well, yeah, it's just because like December, I think December Sagittarius are just a lot more like what's the word I'm thinking of? Not forward, but like we're just blunt. We're just a lot
Mhm,
more blunt.
mhm.
Like I have a really bad issue of hearing what I say after I say it. And that doesn't I don't think November Sagittarius, I think they think a little bit more before they talk, to be honest.
But I'm thinking back in my head to the all of the Sagittarians I know, like the one December and November, and I've never thought about that difference. But I think that's true because the ones I know, yeah, it is true where the December ones are more blunt, more forward. Like my dad is
Hmm.
a November one. His birthday is November 24th, and I don't think he's really that blunt unless he's maybe angry or he's pushed to that point, but he's
Hmm.
very much so reserved, let me think about it and come back to you with my answer type of person.
Yeah, they still want to save your feelings.
You're right.
December Sagittarius don't want to save no feelings. They're just like, what are you doing?
Right, right. And I think there's a space for that because I feel like everybody needs that one friend that's going to tell you like, come on, you fucking
Yeah,
know. Like
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I love that. All right. So, okay. So I heard this in the news this week, and I was like, when I heard it, I was like, let me look up and see what her birth. Because before this, it was really a big coincidence. I had no idea when Taylor Swift's birthday was, and so when I heard it, I just thought that the story was interesting. So I said, oh, if I look this up and see she's a Sagittarius, and I'm going to bring it up with Shannon. lo and behold, she is. So, and she's
What'd
a
she do?
December one, I think, if I remember correctly. So, I'm just curious to get your take on this. So, what she did was, well, everybody knows the relationship,
Hmm.
Travis that she's in, and this could be hearsay, so I haven't heard this directly from her, but
You got to say allegedly.
yes, allegedly. That's the key word. Yeah, allegedly. She said she said that she does not want him going to strip clubs. And I thought about it, and it was just interesting to me. I guess I was a little conflicted by a couple of reasons. I feel like Aquarius, and maybe you've had this experience with them too. I feel like we can see all sides of a situation. Like, even if I don't agree with something, it's like, okay, I can see why you did that, even though maybe I wouldn't have done it. So that's kind of what I tried to do with this. And I feel like, okay, she's in a relationship that makes sense. But on the flip side, they're both celebrities. I mean, so the
Mm,
likelihood of him even getting dragged to a strip club just by association is very high. You just won the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah.
I
Go
just
to
don't.
Disney World. Do something wholesome.
Right. So, and then coming from a Sagittarius, I found it a little bit surprising too, because I feel like in relationships, uh, a Sagittarius doesn't, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but usually doesn't like to be pinned down. Not saying that they're non-committal, because I feel like they can definitely be very committed, but don't like to be pinned down as far as like they like their freedom, they like their space. So I was just kind of surprised that she said that as a Sagittarius, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I would not like my husband to go to a strip club either, but I also am very understanding that, because he is also a well-known artist, and
Mhm.
I'm also on my way to being that there are going to
Well,
be
you already are.
situations. Well, I mean, he's got like 70, 100K followers. Like, he's up there,
Hey, that's
and
what's
I'm
up.
just I'm doing one of these right now, you
Hey,
know.
hey, look, you and me both.
But I would not approve of him going to a strip club personally.
Mhm.
I know plenty of strippers. Hey girl, go get your money. You know what I
Right.
mean? And if that man tries something funny, take him for what take him for what he is.
Right.
But as far as like my personal relationship, if I am not present, especially in something in an environment like that, I don't know if I would feel okay,
Mhm.
because you don't know, especially being a celebrity, your security can be tight and stuff like that, but you don't know those women's intentions with you, especially if they know you have that type of influence and you have that type of money. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
Anybody can get drugged, you know,
True.
anything can happen to anybody like that. And I'm not saying that strip clubs are not safe, but you don't take your children there for a reason, you
Right.
know. So, and it's not just the booties,
Right.
because there are booties and Hooters, and people take their kids
Well,
there
that's
just
true
fine,
too.
you
Yeah.
know. But I would be more. I think I would be not him like cheating. I think I would be more worried about his safety, like going, and
Mm.
like depending, and it also depends on where the strip club is, because ours in Dallas are not
Yeah.
in places where you would
No.
necessarily, want to hang
Yeah.
out at like
Right.
5 in the morning or something like that for
No.
funsies.
Right.
So.
Not at all.
So for me personally, it's more of like a safety issue for them than because me personally, if I feel like I have even the inkling that something is going on between you and something else, I'm a step back, because I don't have the energy to waste on
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
I don't go through phones. If I feel like
Me
I got to
neither.
go through your phone, it's already done. Like,
Exactly. I love
yeah.
that you said that too, because I feel like, and not to sound sexist, but I love that you said that twofold. because I totally agree. And then also as a woman, because um, and it's been kind of, I guess, maybe 50-50 my experience, not my personal experience, but just talking about it. Because I have heard some women say, oh, well, yeah, I would totally look through the phone, and then others that are like you. And I totally agree. And I think that's why I've never been a snooper in a relationship, because I feel like if I have to do that, like you said,
Yeah,
it's over at that point.
because you can already smell it on somebody. Like
Hmm.
if you know if your partner don't really like you no more, like you don't have to,
Yeah.
like I don't need to go through. Like I mean, I guess if you would have caught me at like 16, 17, I would have been like, let me see your
Yeah. Let me look at
fingerprint,
this phone. Right.
something like that,
Look at your
but
MySpace.
right.
Right.
Yes. Who is this girl? Why is she liking all of your stuff?
Right.
Especially when Facebook first came around and stuff like that was like new
Yeah.
stuff for us. We were also
Hmm.
sensitive about all that stuff. And I think that's something, let me speak as an old head with these technological advances. But I think that's
Right.
something that other generations don't really understand is that was a new world that opened up and it
Mhm.
literally gave you access to everyone.
Yes.
And so it was like, are you sure you're just talking to me? Are you
Right.
sure? Are you
Right.
sure? Let me see your
Hmm.
DMs.
Right.
Is that
Right.
this girl is from Mexico. Why are you talking to her? You're never going to meet her.
Right. You've never
It
been
was
there.
it was very much
Right.
one of those. Yeah, yeah, right. So but I think it's a different thing now. Like if you can smell it on somebody, like you
Yeah.
don't have to go through all that stuff.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Totally agree. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I know you, and I don't know if you would classify this as your answer, but this is one of two questions I usually ask people, well, this season at least. So if you had to pick one thing, I know you mentioned being blunt about specifically the December Sagittarius. What's the one thing that you think people would maybe run from when they think of a Sagittarius?
That people would what?
Maybe run from, or they
Run
maybe
from?
dislike, about
Uh
Sagittarius?
uh so I'm not as much like this now, but definitely like December Sagittarius when they're young. It's my emotions matter more than yours.
Oh, okay.
And not in a way of like, oh, your emotions are not important. It's more of like, how dare you affect me in this way? You know,
Okay.
yeah, and it's like it took a long time when I was younger. Like I've always, tried to take someone else's point of view in something, but there was a long time. We're very hot-headed. I'll be for real.
Mhm.
Like we are, and it might just be because I'm also Irish Creole and native. So that Creole and
Oh, yeah.
Irish,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
hot-headedness
we
too.
we a little we a little
Yeah.
fierce out here. But also with the Sagittarius and the moon in Cancer, I was just I'm a very emotional person. And um, I feel like a lot of Sagittarius, especially December Sagittarius, we fight that idea of our emotions are so extreme, nobody understands. Nobody, just the
Mm,
brooding, nobody understands. And how dare you attempt to understand? How dare you attempt to understand? Because you just don't even know.
right.
You cannot fathom. And I think that's the biggest thing that probably, especially December Sagittarius would fight is trying to look past your own emotions and
Mm.
realize the actual situation that's happening.
Okay. And you mentioned something interesting too. So you said that you're a Cancer moon, which I find very interesting because Cancer is one of the more, or the most, I would say, one of the most emotional signs, I feel. And and when I say emotional, I don't mean crybaby, because I think sometimes people
No, they are.
confuse
They
that.
are. It's okay.
But you think they are for real?
No, I mean, like speaking as one where, the moon controls your like emotional side, which
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say like controls, like I have no
Oh,
control,
right, right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real, like the moon controls the waves. Like there's some,
Yeah. There's some
form of
factors in
wave
there.
that
Right.
happens that, is you've got to stay aware of so you can stay in control of that. But no, like I will straight up say, like, if I get too mad, I cry. If I get too happy, I cry. If I get too sad, I cry. So yes,
Huh.
there's a bunch of crying happening over here all the time. If a song is too good, I cry. Like there's no control here for that trigger at
Hey,
all.
brother, I'm really glad that you said that, because one of my goals for this show is I want people to see that yes, you can be a Sagittarius or Aquarius or Gemini or whatever your sign is, and you may have some of the stereotypical traits, but you can also defy those at the same time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things I read about Sagittarius is that when it comes to emotions, they can be kind of a cutthroat sign in the sense that you may not get much empathy from a Sagittarius. And it seems like from what you're saying, you're very much opposite of that.
I had empathy for myself growing up. I had empathy for me. Like
Not others.
don't get me wrong. Like if I saw somebody crying, I'd go and help them out. But I'm gonna go to hell for saying this. Okay, so I had a roommate in college that was really, really messed up. All right. Like she would tell me she had narcolepsy and actually she was on sleeping pills that she was getting. Yeah, like she was really messed up. Like she came from
Oh,
real high privilege, the highest privilege, like zero restraint on this girl at all. Okay. And she had come home one day after being in an area she had no business being with people
okay.
she had no business being. And she was talking about how her boyfriend had set her up to be jumped by these two girls. It's not funny. I'm so sorry. It's not funny.
I'm
But
trying not to laugh because it is kind
I'm
of
so sorry. I'm so
funny.
sorry. It's not funny. It's funny to me because I just the stuff that she put me through, I was like, But she was crying and her face was like, and I was like and I had my best friend there and I was having to like wait till she closed her eyes to let the tears come. And I'd be like, try not to. And don't get me wrong, it's not funny that any of that stuff happened. It's not funny that any of that stuff happened. It's
So she
not.
really
It's
did get
not.
jumped and she
She
wasn't lying.
did. She did. She came home like she wasn't beat up, but she
Right,
came home
right.
with a couple bruises. And he smashed the window out of her car. Like I said, she had no business being in the areas that she was at. You got to
Uh,
understand, like this girl, her stepdaddy was a doctor. Like she came from that amount of money and tried to play around in the hood like she was
oh,
supposed to be from there. And it came back at her because she was
oh.
not supposed to be out there. And I tried to warn her. I was like, you ain't supposed to. I was like, baby, I'm from Texarkana. I smell your kind a mile away. You ain't supposed to be out there. And she wouldn't take no heed. So I was like, I don't want to say you walked into this yourself, but you
Kind of
surely
walked
somebody
into it.
opened the door and you said,
You're
that looks
right.
good.
Right. Let me go through this
Yeah.
door here.
Oh,
Right.
don't get me wrong. I don't approve of jumping nobody. If anybody gets jumped around me, I'm probably gonna jump in and help out.
Right.
But that's not funny. Don't do that. It's not okay. But still, like you ask stupid
Kind of
questions, you
asked
get
for
stupid answers.
it. I mean, hey, that's Tyler says I must be a Sag. Yeah, me too. In some
I'm
instances,
telling you,
because
and
hey,
it's just like when people get emotional and you don't understand the trigger, like you just don't understand the trigger. There are times people have been upset around me, and I'm just like, why? Why are you so upset right now?
hmm hmm
So, I mean, there's a certain amount where the Cancer, like I said, I had empathy for myself and my emotions and how people affected me. And it took me a while to understand how to reflect that outward and have empathy for other people's emotions as much as my emotions affect me. Like to understand that my emotions and how extreme my emotions are for me does not mean that your emotions do not get that extreme for you.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's where we lack in empathy is that we don't understand that your emotions can be just as powerful as our emotions.
Ah, okay. So it's not that you lack the empathy, but it's just the intensity sounds like
Yeah.
of the emotions that maybe
Yeah.
the scale might be a little off.
Right. Or like if somebody has say like I have a total meltdown and I'm like, I don't throw shit, but say I'm throwing shit,
Right.
like really just throwing shit. If someone else had that type of emotional explosion around me, I would be like, "What? You look 12. What are you doing right now?" So there's like
Right. Right.
a wall of
Mhm.
like, "Why are you acting like
What
this?"
are we doing here? Right.
Exactly. Oh my God. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten in arguments with exes and I'm just like, "Are you done talking? Like, this has been over with for like an hour. Why are we still talking about this?"
Right. I love it. That's funny. Tyler says, I lack empathy. It's bad. So those that are listening and watching, keep in
Oh,
mind, he's a Gemini who also gets a bad rep for empathy. Oh,
so
wait, what were we going to say, Shay?
you can find your moon sign. There is an app
Oh,
called
yes.
CoStar. Hold on,
Oh,
I'm pulling.
never knew of that.
So
Okay.
this is CoStar, and what it does is you can go through all of this stuff that relates to like your day, which I don't really sign up for, but and it'll show you your friends and then you can go to up here at the top. Wait. Okay. Up here at the top it says chart and that
Mhm.
shows you where all your signs are. Can you see it?
Yes.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on. I swear I'm not that old, okay? But it shows you like
You're
your
good.
signs and like what houses and what numbers are related to those signs and stuff like that.
Okay. And it's called CoStar.
CoStar.
CoStar. Okay.
So you can find your ascending, your moon, your sun, like your sun rising is your, like I'm a Sagittarius, that's my sun rising. And then you can find your moon and like uh what's your sign under Jupiter, Pluto, Mars, stuff like that. So you
Nice.
can find your whole chart.
Okay. I'm gonna check because I know my moon and my ascending, but I want to dig into some of those other things. So that's cool that it's all in one app. I'm a double Leo, I guess you could say,
Ugh.
moon and
So you extra driven for no reason.
Man, what's funny is I didn't realize that's where I thought that kind of came from the Aquarius side, but the more I started researching about the Leo moon and the ascendant, I I think it's probably more attributed to that.
So you've got stupid courage for no reason.
But
You've
I
got
get
stupid
scared though.
courage. Huh?
I do get scared. But if I
Yeah, but
believe in something, then the fright takes a back seat.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the sensibility of an Aquarius.
Right.
Because Leos will just be like, all right, let's fucking, put their hair out there,
Right.
like,
I'm
let's
scared, but
go.
come on, right.
You know, they just run into silly things like you didn't see that tarantula coming down the wall before you walked
Right.
into that room full of spiders. Like,
Right. We all saw it. Right.
right. Those are the ones that during the scary movies, like they'll hear something from the basement and they're like, oh, let's go check it out. That's a Leo.
That is true. I think a Leo would be the first to go investigate. Yeah.
But the last one to die because somehow they gon' figure out how to get out of it.
That's true. They're kind of like that is very true. Like cat with nine lives kind of
Hmm.
vibes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. And I feel like Aquarius and Sagittarius could be in the corner, like I'm gonna let them go down there and
Yeah, I mean, like,
do.
yeah, you go ahead and take care of that. I'll go get the car warmed up real quick because I
Right,
already
right.
know what's down
Go
there.
get some
Well, I
snacks.
mean, I don't know, like spiritual stuff is different for me, but I definitely know what not to mess with. Like, I grew up in a haunted house. I'm living there right now. Like, there's a few people here that are not
Okay, it
flesh
cut out a little bit.
anymore. Huh?
Oh, okay.
What'd you
It
say?
cut out right when you said haunted house. So it was almost
Oh yeah.
like perfect timing.
What? No. But I live in a haunted house. My house is almost 200 years old. Uh,
Wow.
it's one
Okay.
of the first houses built in the town.
Hmm.
Um, so there are a few people just with the land, not even the house, but just like the land, because it was a plantation at one point in time.
Mm.
So there's the family that lived here for a while, like all four of them are here. Um, and there is a field hand that lives here who is like he's way older than all the other people, but he's only like 17, but I mean his spirit's like older.
Oh,
But
right.
yeah, there are definitely situations where um like I'll hear my name being called by my mom downstairs and I know it's not my mom, so I'm just gonna close my door and
Oh,
go on
right. Like
about my
it's not
business,
her. Right.
yeah. Or like there'll be times like we don't really get a lot of visitors, but like you'll hear the doorbell, but nobody's, and the dogs will hear it and everybody will go off. Or you'll hear the doorbell and none of the dogs will hear it. And what's
Really?
crazy is the doorbell is old. So it's one of those like ding ding. And so
Oh,
you'll be
yeah.
in the shower and you'll hear that and you're like, how did I hear that in the shower? So yeah, it's a very weird house. Or another thing that happens is you'll put something down. Like I had a this is one of my weirdest stories. It's not my weirdest, but it's one of my
But
weirdest.
it's in
So
the
yeah.
top.
So I had a ring when I was younger. My mom has it somewhere, and it's just this little gold ring with a pearl on it. And I had lost it when I was like 10. Okay, like crazy young.
Right.
And me and my mom had left my dad for like we moved out for the 4 years I was in high school, and she moved back in before I went to college. So all the furniture that was in this room was not in this room and it's not the same furniture now, but before I had left for college, I had put all of my furniture in this room from my bedroom at the time. So, and it used to be like my Barbie room. Like I had like a bunch of toys and stuff in here. So it was like a completely different setup. And I had this shelf that was attached to my desk at the time. And I was looking for something and I just happened to look underneath it. And there was that ring just sitting underneath the bookshelf, like waiting on me to find it. And I just thought it was
Wow.
so weird because I had not seen it since I was like 10 and I was like 19 going fixing to leave for Dallas.
Wow. And it just popped
Yeah.
up. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm. Wow. That's like something in the movies. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, cool, but I mean, it's cool that you got your ring back at least.
Well, I mean, I like it. They're cool
Yeah,
here with me.
I
Like
thought it
they're
was
not
cool. Yeah,
violent people,
right,
you
right.
know.
Yeah,
I've never like you hear these horror stories of like, oh yeah, the room went crazy and then I got knocked unconscious or something like that.
right.
Like
Stuff's flying
nothing.
around.
No,
Yeah,
nothing like that has ever happened here. They are very, very sweet people. Like I've
uh,
never had any issue with any of them.
that's cool. That's top. Oh my god, he says, "Angry slave goes to like in Tales from the Hood." Oh my god, now that movie. Let me tell you, at 39, I am probably scared to watch that by myself. I'm not gonna lie.
For real?
Yeah, the certain now, not all of the scenes, but okay, so the first one, you know how it had like the little movies within the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
The one with uh the guy that was like retaliating on the policeman, that was, yeah, that to me
Oh
that was so
yeah.
creepy. And then the one with the one that with the people jumped out of the painting, that wasn't that scary. Um the little boy who he would draw and then it would bend and like contort people's bodies. That was scary to
Oh,
me.
dude, it's been some years since I've seen
Yeah.
that. So I'm
See,
like
now you're gonna make me go
having to
see this
pull it
now.
out from back here while you're talking about it. Yeah,
Right.
I do remember that one. Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
weird. I didn't
Uh-huh.
like that either. But
Yeah.
I'm into horror movies. Like I'm one of those
Me
weird people
too.
that'll like watch that stuff in the middle of the night with the lights off by themselves in
Me too.
a haunted house, you
Right.
know.
I can totally see that. That would be me too. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So speaking of haunted houses and scary places and things like that, um, it's not exactly a tie-in, but I'm just curious.
Whatever.
So, if you had to take one zodiac sign with you to a haunted house or anywhere to the grocery store, which zodiac sign is your ride or die?
Steven, what's your zodiac sign? Leo.
Hey, okay. Hey, okay.
I
Nice,
could not
nice.
imagine going anywhere without this man. Like,
Okay.
because I know if something happens and there's anything going on, like he's got a sixth sense like me. So there are times we look at each other and we're like, yeah, we probably should move around for a little while, you know. So yeah, most definitely. And plus, he's not, like I said, Leos, they have no fear,
No, they don't, which
you
is
know.
cool.
Yeah. So it's easier to be in situations with him, especially being a Sagittarius, because I'm like, hell yeah. I'm very much the type of person that, okay, so how okay, I've lived with I'll say 3.5 because David never fully moved in. But a lot of the times, like when my ex Ralph moved in, literally how he moved in, I was like, fuck it, come live with me, and that's
Just kind of how it
that's
happened.
how I've handled most of my life is just like, fuck it, whatever, let's see what happens, and he's very much the same way. So it's like, even in grocery stores, we'll find stuff we've never tried and we'll just look at each other and be like, I don't know, want to try it? And he's like, yeah, throw it in the buggy,
Right.
so
Why not?
definitely.
Ah, nice, nice. That's what's up. I love that. Okay, cool. So I can't believe we're like already pretty much at the end of the show. So the last part I have is the game, the Dead in the Water game. So I'll ask you some questions. So some of this stuff is based, I try to tailor it to each guest. So based off of,
Oh, what were you going to mention about Taylor? Did we already talk about Taylor Swift? I have sick
oh,
brain.
yes, about her. No, you're
Okay.
good. Yeah, we did
Okay.
about her and
Okay.
the whole strip club.
Oh,
scenario.
yeah.
So
I don't
that
know
was the
why
only
I was
thing.
waiting on you to mention her Pop Tarts that she made. I was like, is this man going to talk about Pop Tarts?
Yeah. I forgot. Well, yes, that too. I forgot. But yes. Okay, so you made a post. I think this was last week when I saw it about Bjork.
Yes.
And yes. So, in line with Bjork, these two albums, Biophilia or Utopia, which one?
What's biophilia?
It's
You
one
throwing
of
in
her
new words.
albums, right?
Oh, okay.
I just was looking at all.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. I'm with you now. The album.
Right. The album itself.
Yes. I was like, what is that?
Right.
Is that a new word?
Like, let me Google this.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you now. The red hair. I got it. Yes.
Yeah. So, do you have a choice of which one you would get rid of?
Oh, between that and Utopia? Hold on. Whichever one is, hold on. The one that has the ocean song on it, that's mine. That's my favorite one. I think that's Utopia.
Okay.
That song gives me chills. Yeah. I think that's the one that has that one. I'm almost 90% sure. But so, and I might be wrong. Listen, okay? Because I just started listening to her again, and I'm not one of those people. One thing you got to know about me when it comes to music, I'm not one of those people that I will not know the name of the person who sings it. I might not even know the name of the song, but I really enjoy the lyrics, and I don't know who made it, but it's a really good song.
Hey,
and I really enjoy myself listening to it. So whichever album, I don't know if it's one of those, I think it's Utopia, but whichever album has that ocean song, and the song is the one that she just sang for the Olympics. And it's about us coming out of Mother Ocean and how she birthed us and how she's watched us evolve. And, our decades last forever for us, but they're just a blink for her because she's watched us develop through all these things. It's such a beautiful song.
Okay. Yes, it is a beautiful song. Okay.
That was a long answer. I'm very sorry.
No, you're good. So that's on the Utopia album, I think.
I think.
So the Biophilia, is that the one you would throw in the water?
Yeah, I'll throw that in the water. I'm sorry, girl. No. I like all your albums, but that one doesn't have that one on it.
I got to get rid of it. Okay. All right. So out of these two things, carrot cake or wedding cake? Which
No,
one?
we're doing carrot cake. Wedding cake don't even stand up to carrot cake. Are you serious?
You would throw the wedding cake away.
Yes, I would. I don't even care what it's made out of.
See that we're here because a lot of people, when I tell them I like carrot cake, they're like, "Ugh, carrot cake." I'm like, "What?"
But I also like lime pie and stuff like that. So I like that.
I would too.
Because carrot cake got that tangy in the middle of it with the sweet, and that's what I live for.
Yes.
So, yes.
I agree.
Throw out the wedding cake. We don't need that. That's too expensive anyway. Go get you a carrot cake from out of the little bin at Walmart and be happy with your life.
Right.
Pay your $20. Don't worry about $1,000. Just get a whole.
Right. Yeah, because those wedding cakes it'd be expensive. All right. So logo or flyer? If you had to throw away one, which one would it be?
Oh, definitely. I would throw out a flyer. I'm
Okay.
sorry. And I don't mean it like, but look, flyers are like a dime a dozen and they're going to be used like maybe twice. They don't mean a lot. They don't resonate with anybody, but a logo is something that person's going to hold with them for at least the next 5-10 years. And that's their baby. That shows the world what they represent. So definitely throw the flyer in the water. Hey. Nobody's going to remember it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and like you said, they're only going to use it maybe twice.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
my lips are crying. Hold on.
Okay, you good? Tyler says carrot cake is fire. Okay, so we got a couple carrot cake lovers here. I'm not alone. So that's really good to know. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and clear that out. And I think we got two more. So roses or tulips, which one are you?
Oh no. I can't do either, actually. I know that's so crazy.
No, that's okay.
I'm allergic to roses. Actually, I know that's
really
my last name is Rose. Listen, I told you my allergies were wild. My allergies are wild. My mom got me a bouquet for this wedding, and I'm still paying for it. I wore a mask the whole time. I was not allowed to play with it.
So you're allergic to both of them, tulips and
yeah, I'm allergic to just pollen in general, you know. So their existence is beautiful, but they also is very damaging. So we're gonna put them in a basket and push them out in the water. We're not gonna throw them out, so we can watch them. Yeah.
Just float on the water. Okay, so last one, and I'm really curious. So I got to give a little bit of a lead into this one. So y'all didn't see this, but before we went live, Shannon said, "Oh, the clip that you posted," because yesterday I shared a clip about someone going on this like really crazy roller coaster, and I said, "Oh, it would be something a Sagittarius would do," because I feel like they just freedom, Sagittarius. I feel like it just goes hand in hand, and like adventure, all that stuff. And she said, "You picked the one thing that I would not do." So I thought that was hilarious. So with that, I don't know. You might throw both of these away, but skydive or bungee jump?
No, neither one. Neither one. I'm not about to snap my neck for nobody. You got me. No, sir. I can pop my spine on a. Listen, hold on. This will pop my spine just fine. I don't need the extracurricular. I don't need to go somewhere knowing that they don't check their cords that shit snap halfway down. Also, I don't need to worry about patches being in my my parachute, you know. So, you know, making repairs on it or nothing like that. I would rather not hit the ground that hard. Thank you. I appreciate both of my legs and both of my arms.
Yes.
So I would like to keep them doing this as much as possible, you know. Just keep this.
I love it. Yeah.
Keep this movement going, please.
Together. Right.
So those can actually not be put in a basket. Just put those.
Awesome.
Both of those, please. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Hey, that's it. So goodbye to skydiving and bungee jumping. So
He said, imagine jumping out of a plane and the parachute isn't even in the backpack. No, no, sir. That's not what we imagined at all. Listen, I told Carlos before I came up here, I was like, you put that thing up there and you had no idea I was scared of heights. I was like, I can't even walk up into my attic. Like I had to hire somebody to clean out my parents' attic because I was not getting up there. Listen, I walk up to the top of the stairs and the attic floor is half finished. Okay. So first of all, I'm not walking up there because I'm gonna put my feet through something and I'm not coming through a ceiling. And B, when you get at the top of the stairs, you look over and you see straight down the stairwell. And I was trying to help them move boxes. And this man was trying to hand me this heavy shit. And I was like, sir, you do not understand how much I'm holding my shit together just to grab these empty boxes for you and bring them down the stairs. And you're trying to give me something really heavy I'm going to have to use both hands for. I need safety here. Okay. So he just started handing me empty boxes instead. And I was like, thank you so much. Because I can throw these behind me.
Right.
Yeah. Because I was straight up like, okay, here, like throwing them down beside me. And I was like, trying not to look the whole time. I was like, yeah, cool.
Like I'm not up that high.
Yeah, no, for real.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is funny. Well, I have truly enjoyed you. This has been great. This is good. I feel like this is more of a catch up than podcast.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for making the time tonight. Again, like I said, just got married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, you're welcome. And also, I know you weren't feeling 100, so I appreciate you even getting on in the midst of that. And definitely keep me posted. I'm going to be watching your YouTube for the video release.
I'm so close to it. I'm so mad it's not done yet. I had to stop and work on a logo, and then I got sick right after that, and I was like, because I wanted to have it out like the first week of February, and then I got into editing it, and I was like, because what happened was I have two separate cameras, but one of them doesn't do time lapse, and I didn't get the one that does time lapse till November. So the whole first half of it, I literally spent like almost 2 weeks just like making it into a time lapse and editing. Like it was so much.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I know it's going to be.
It's coming.
Awesome.
It's coming.
Hey, it's coming. That's right. So y'all get ready for it. It is coming, and definitely many blessings to you. And I'm telling you, her art is just so amazing. Like,
you want me to grab that painting real quick?
Oh yes,
I
would love to see it. Yeah. Thank you. And so while she's getting that. Next week, actually, we talked about Leos quite a bit tonight. We'll have a Leo on the show. So instead of going live next week, and this is why I said it's very important to hit that notification bell when you subscribe, I will have the same time, 7 p.m. Thursday, but it'll be pre-recorded. So make sure y'all come back, same time, same place next Thursday for the Leo episode. Hey, wow, that is so dope.
Fix these so we're not glaring.
Wow. I just have so much respect for that because listen, if I tried to do that, it would be all kinds of stick figures and
you know what I do with portraits. So like these I freehand because they're mine. But when it comes to like actual people, I transfer. So I grab carbon paper and here, let me show you the other one.
Okay. And Talon
says it'll make more sense.
That, and yes, she did. Yes, she is amazing.
So this is, let me see. So you see how it's like, it's so shiny. I'm so sorry.
No, I can still see it.
So this is just a transfer. So literally I just had some white carbon paper and I put this picture. You're on my laptop, baby, so I'm like real old right now.
No, you're good. I'm on my laptop too. Right.
So I put this picture on top of the canvas and I just get transfer paper and lay that on top of it and tape it down real good, and then get like a pencil or a stylus and draw over the photo, and it transfers it for me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So all this, none of this I hand drew. I don't hand draw. If it's a real person, I'm not playing with that. I'm not playing with that. I'm not about to make your grandma's eye this big and then her other eye like this big. You know, like that's a real person. It needs to look like that real person, you know? So, but all the painting obviously is me. There's no paint by numbers in this game or anything like that. But it saves time for me because it would take me at least 3 months just to draw it because I'm a perfectionist at heart over that. And it saves my clients money because that's time I would have to put into freehanding. So literally I can have this drawn in like a night instead of like 3 months or something like that.
I see what you mean. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm really, really excited to see this video. That's going to be awesome to see the behind the scenes of you putting it. Because I show that whole process with that other one, the transfer, the graphite paper or whatever. I was trying to see if I had some just laying around so I could show you, but I'm actually a little organized. So everything's like put away like a professional, I guess. Well, you are. Yes. No, usually like, because I've had my laptop, you know, my stuff is more like for my computer stuff, but usually like, it's like, usually it's blown up over here, but I haven't painted. I've been working on that video for like a month. So nothing's messy over here right now. It's very odd. It doesn't feel good. Hey, well, this has been awesome. I'm definitely going to, of course, still, be on the lookout and continue to support your work. And yes, sir. I'm so glad that I got you to do one of my book covers, because when you blow up, I can say, hey, I had a book cover by Shannon. So yeah, I'll be like, hey, check out this book I fucking did not too long ago. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss. I have no filter. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. You're good. You're good. No, but thank you again, Shannon. Hope you feel better, and I'll be praying for you, your family, your dad, and everything. So, I appreciate it. It's really great. Don't be a stranger, my boy. Don't be a stranger. I won't. I will be reaching out now for sure. More regularly. Yes. Yeah. Anything you need, my man. Anything you need, we here. Okay. Same here. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for letting me be here. I also would like to make a plug of, Element Rose 13 is on my social medias. Right. Element Rose 13 is my YouTube as well. If you want to go ahead and, pre-subscribe for that, if you want to. And if you go to my Instagram, I have my link tree that has my shops in it, because I also have merch and I do sell prints of my work. So if you're interested in, I don't have prints of her because she's very personal, but if you're interested in stuff like that, just shoot me a DM, let me know, and I can take some pictures of it and get it up there. But I do sell fine prints of my artwork if you're interested. Hey, nice. So make sure y'all go out there and subscribe and support. Yes. Cool. Well, thank you again, Shannon. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having this platform just to have fun on. It's not very often that people are just trying to have a talk show where it's fun. Usually it has to have some type of drama sprinkled into it. And, we don't sign up for those all the time. Right. No, we don't. So I definitely want this show to be something like people can learn. Although I will say I am in the process of watching that Wendy Williams special, because that's a hot mess. Yeah. I saw that kind of, I won't say against my will, but I was a couple days ago for an event, and my parents were watching it. And you know how you're just sitting there and it's like, okay, this is on, so I guess I'll watch it. Yeah. It was one of those things where I feel like if you start watching it, you'll finish it, because it draws you in. Yeah. But it was also sad at the same time. It's like, oh, this is really a big, situation here. But yeah.
All right, let's see how much empathy I'll have for this woman by the end of it, I guess.
Yes. Okay. So if you watch it, you got to let me know what you think. So we'll have to have a conversation about it.
I will say right now, she keeps mentioning, I'm not through the first episode yet, but she keeps mentioning how, oh, this is karma because I'm talking bad about all these people. And I'm just like, girl, you already know. You already know what happened. You called it yourself way early in your career and you still kept going. But, I don't wish no harm on her. I don't wish no harm on her.
I will say though, she has said a lot of things about a lot of people in the course of her career. A lot.
Yes. She held the power for a long time to ruin or make someone successful. And I just think it's very sad that she chose to do other things. Although I will say that she had Diddy pinned a long time ago. She had.
Before it was even a rumor.
Yeah, she had a lot of them boys pinned for a long time. But there were a lot of people that got caught up in her crosshairs that just did not deserve it.
Yeah.
So, but I will say she was one of the first people to be like, you might want to look at Epstein and all these other boys. They got a little island out there just for them.
Right. She did. She was one of the first. Yeah. I give her props for that because she was. Yeah, but yeah, you got to let me know what you think when you finish.
What I feel in my heart.
Yes, what you feel.
I'll be sure when I'm done. I'll be like, dang, I don't think any of these diseases should have happened to her, but she said.
But yes, y'all. So thank y'all for watching. Everybody that's tuning in, listening, appreciate it. And again, tune in next week. Like I said, we'll have a Leo on the show next week. So it'll be really interesting to get her take on that, on being a female Leo. So yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and have a good night.
Thank you, Shannon. You too. Peace.
Bye.